Hey everyone, this is my latest Gundam build, or Gunpla build. It's technically not a Gundam in universe, though it was made with some Gundam level technology. It's a mass-produced mech suit, well, somewhat mass-produced mobile suit, and it comes from Gundam 00 for folks not familiar with it, but it's pronounced 00, and this is called colloquially Jinx. This is the master grade 1/100th scale version, and for the sake of scale compared to the standard size of Gundams, basic Gundams, this is a 1/144th scale. Technically easy grade, same size as a high grade, the most common size that's out there. I personally prefer 1/100ths. I don't know, I just like that size. This is only the most recent thing that I have finished. I literally finished it the day of the recording of this video. And there are a bunch of kits that I have built since then that I've not shown on this channel. I'll be getting caught up on those over time, but figured since I finished this one, fully finished it, I would show it now. And I'm already seeing some tiny little flaws that I need to fix up a little bit. This is mostly done to the instructions specs, but I have started to delve into panel lining a little bit, getting the lines that are molded into the plastic pieces to be accentuated with the use of ink. And I've also put on the stickers for this one, as well as the dry transfers that this one includes. And there are a few other things to show you as well. This is not a review, and I'm not going to do Gundam reviews because there are plenty of people who do Gundam reviews, and I just want to share with the folks who know me some better looks at some of the things that you may see me building over on Twitch live, and also on Patreon every once in a while, but mostly live over on Twitch. This has all, as a master grade kit, this has all the articulation that you could ask for. And I personally, and I'm not going to go through, again, this is not a review, so I'm not going to go through every single bit of articulation, but I just kind of want to show you in general what I'm working with here and what you could be working with. This was about $45 US retail price, but I especially like on this one the shoulder joints and the hip joints because they're round, ball shaped, and they kind of hide away their own functionality just because of the way that they're shaped. You know, you get all of this standard motion in there, but you're not seeing, when it opens up, you're not seeing the inside of the joint inside of there, which is, I don't know, which is kind of cool. And of course you got the, sorry, just knocked that off, but you got the usual rotation up here. Double jointed elbows for this one, which is pretty important at this this shape. You can move this armor pad in and out just a little bit. Ball joint for the wrist, and then this has double fingers, so it kind of has split fingers where you get an extra barb. These are very sharp in real life. Like right now, they are sharp for me to touch. But you got the index finger and the thumb on ball joints, and then the other three just move all together, so you can articulate those in various ways. The head is actually attached interestingly because the neck joint is way back towards the rear. This is another place where they kind of hide the joint on the side of the head for rotating it up and down. See how that's just all kind of hidden away, but side to side, because the joint is way back here to connect it to the body, the head really moves. The whole thing moves side to side rather than just rotating, and that's kind of noticeable. And you can see how long the neck is and how it extends forward. You got that nice gem kind of effect here, which is done with a foil or metallic sticker behind for both the lower face portions, including the mouth, and also the big mono eye there. And then that's covered with trans purple colored plastic, you know, just an insert. So it's a double duty there, which really makes it shine nicely without having to do any special effects on it. Again, I did do a little bit of panel lining, so wherever you see really fine black lines or really dark gray lines that are not obviously from two different pieces, like here you have two different pieces. Wait, is that? Yeah, that one is two different pieces of plastic. So that's a real line, a real seam, but that in there, those four around the eye are not real seams. Those are just done with ink. I will show you in this video the dry transfer sheet, which does include a whole bunch of different options. So you can make this officially represent any of the 30 of these that were produced, and I made mine represent number 20. I wanted to line it up appropriately, canonically, with the one female hero pilot who's featured in the series. This all comes down, speaking of the pilot, figured while I'm talking about that, open this up, that's where the pilot sits. That figure is tiny, it is to proper scale, and I'm not going to paint it yet, not until I've got quite a bit of practice with painting. I'm just taking this hobby nice and slowly, but that is a curious place to put a pilot. It's a little bit weird, it's a little bit unique. You saw that here, I've got these forward armor pieces on the upper legs that are able to move. Well, what happens there is that comes out, and this is a beam saber hilt. There's another one over here, and that should actually rotate forward as well to get a little bit better access. There we go. So the idea is that that opens up, and then the opposite hand comes across and grabs it. The knee joints are pretty normal. The hip joints, once again, do have the full cups on them, so they kind of hide away the mechanisms inside for splay, and also forward and back. And then you're also able to rotate the legs. I guess I am kind of showing the articulation, not entirely in full. That's something I'm going to talk about. We'll get back to that. But I did want to show you, just a little bit more. You got the flaps in the back here that are able to open up, and that can kind of basically gives you more range of motion, but also allows it to look like it's using air brakes, or you've got a little bit of vectored thrusting underneath, and the legs have a very useful hip. I say hip, heel. Went for an H, but went too far. Okay, yeah, heel point, which has a good amount of friction behind it. It's actually useful for some poses, and the toe is able to move up and down as a single flap. Again, more little panel lining down there. Not all of this is done ideally, but it's okay, the detailing. And then this is just a basic short to intermediate range weapon. It does have some stickers on it, as well as this little panel this little section right here is done with a dry transfer. Coming around to the back, again, I will get back to that fin that fell off. Got the GN drive here, which is an awesome thing. Has a little lock down here that you can open up to allow this to be pulled out. There's one, and this is designed to easily accommodate a standardized LED unit, so you can make this light up. I have not received my LED just yet, but this can also squish down to where all of this, I forget exactly. Oh yeah, there we go. That squishes in, and then if I do this properly, there we go. So just kind of opens up like that and allows it to extend farther from the back. And I like the look of it being open, so I personally am just going to leave it that way. But they also give you a little tray included in the set if you want to keep the GN drive unit separate. Once again, panel lining was used for the very fine lines here. By default, you don't see that. You can see the shape, but the definition isn't quite as significant as you can see the visual definition. And then back here you got the main thruster. These little stabilizers can open and close on either side. All of this can angle up and down. It can also open and close. I did not do any detailing inside of the thruster nozzle there. I feel like I want to. And I think that covers most of the stuff. Now these things are a pain. I don't like them. They're critical to the unique look of the Jinx unit in particular, but the ball joints are just not strong enough. They're not bad. They don't feel loose, but they definitely are not holding these on, because these are some heavy pieces and there's just not enough friction in there to hold it. So those have been a little bit of a pain, more so than these. These up here are held similarly, but just work out a little bit better. They kind of get in the way of the shoulder articulation though. Everything's kind of kept in fairly close, but they do give you a little bit of range to move this around a bit. I'm trying to think of what else is of particular interest here. The shield unit, which I accidentally knocked off earlier, has just a simple transformation of just being able to rotate like this. So this is the standard form of it, and then you can just rotate this around like so. These are all dry transfer decals that are on there, and as you saw earlier, the way this attaches to the arm is pretty straightforward. It just slides right in there, and it's just a friction fit. It's going to slide straight down from above. Not the best fit. It doesn't have the most clutch power, if you will, to hold it on, but it's not as annoying as these big fins down here, just because there's not as much weight behind it. Now, there's more that you can do with the weapon, because this also has a long-range weapon option, which you can access by simply adding on another sub-assembly. So for this, I took the option route also of using some paint markers in this case, because again, I'm still a newbie, and taking a nice slow start to the hobby. This inner texture bit gets painted, and they show you an example of how to do that, but then most of the work that you do gets hidden away. So you really, to get this effect here, being able to see that gold, because by default it's just gray plastic, you really only just need to do a run down that one little bit, that one little strip that you can see through the gap there. And then this has a little bit of panel lining. Oops, I forgot to clean that up. I got to clean that up. Yep, that'll be easy enough. I think the others are done okay. And then this also has some stickers, and if I recall correct, yeah, so that's a sticker, and then that's a dry transfer. But all of this simply slides right on. So I'm gonna move the foregrip here is what this is, off to the side. I think it went to this side. Yes, it goes to the inside, and then all of this attaches underneath. So it's just an extension, and then you end up turning this into a sniper rifle, and that really changes the balance of the whole model. You want to have these fins back quite far, and ideally you want this to be aiming across the body and held across the body. I will go ahead and get this into a pose before the end of the video, but I really like just how this looks, especially with just a little bit of extra detailing on it. I think it all fits. Now, obviously this is a somewhat monochrome model in terms of just its overall aesthetics, and I am okay with that because it all just kind of works. And I don't like the fact, in particular in the Gundam IP, that there are a lot of mechs, hero mechs, that are mostly white. But here it's a whole thing. It's not the usual Gundam white with a little bit of blue and red and a tiny bit of yellow. The standard almost archetype of all of them. I want to show you a couple of options that they include here also, since this is designed to be built as any number of the mass-produced models in universe. They give you an alternate pilot as well to scale that you can put in there, and then they also have double scale pilot figures, two options there. Two of the main characters, named characters that we do see in the Gundam 00 show. It's a lot easier to paint these. I believe these are 1/50th scale, because I think they are double size. A lot easier to paint them than the little ones, but again, I'm not there yet. I do not have that power. I will get there, but just not yet. Here's a look at the sticker sheet, the main sticker sheet with the clear backing to it. It has, the stickers all have satin to matte finish. I actually originally thought that this was a wet transfer decal sheet, and I was getting all ready, and I was trying to figure out how I'm going to do these rings over here to be safe with them, and I realized, oh, it's stickers. You just take the whole thing, including the inner part, and move that to the model, and then peel out the center part, which is really convenient. These don't look that great against the darker colors, the darker grays especially, because you can see the edges on them. Would have looked nicer if they were wet transfers, but a lot of people are water slides, and not everybody is interested in doing water slides, but yeah, I think it would have been the better option. This is the dry transfer sheet, so you see all these options for the main insignia on the front to indicate which unit it is of the 30. So I grabbed the 20, and you do have a bunch of leftovers as well, a bunch of options that you can add on different places. I'm pretty sure that I've attached all of the ones that are indicated per the manual, per the standard build. So some of those are options. There are some spares, thank goodness. I did have to use one spare for the shield. I messed up one, so it's great to have spares. And you saw that over here as well. There are spares for many of these, which is just fantastic. Gives you a little option if you mess up one thing, you're fine. You know, you still have the option to recover. These are actually options versus something else. So it's an either or position, which is why I didn't use any of them, but it's always nice to have leftover stuff to potentially use for custom stuff in the future. And then this is the little stand that I mentioned for the GN drive if you want to have it as a separate thing. Here's some form of a pose. I'll probably have to adjust this a little bit to make it a little bit better, but this is pretty close to what I want from it. Again, I really want to have the long gun on it because, you know, just the length, and I think the lines kind of go with these long fins as well. There's just a lot of movement to this in its design, even when it's not moving. It looks like it wants to be moving, so I wanted to take advantage of that. It's not that practical, honestly, to pose this with the sniper rifle. It wasn't really designed, it wasn't really engineered as a model to work well with the sniper rifle, as far as I can tell, just because you have a lot of limitations with these upper fin vein things. These structures kind of get in the way of really turning the head and also turning the shoulder. So the shoulder on the right side there is getting really close to one of these, and kind of had to futz around with this a little bit. Yeah, also, center of gravity is definitely an issue with this. I do have this just on a single section or single segment of a Action Base 4, which I personally prefer a lot because you can pose up, well, depending upon what you're doing, you can pose as many as 4 models with one single Action Base 4 set you can get for like $10 US, 15 at the most. But the way that I've posed this, I have one of the long lower fins far off to the side a little bit more, whereas so the right side one is out, the left side one is in close and actually being held on top. It's kind of resting on top of the stabilizer there to the side of the thruster. And then I've also rotated this leg, you can see over in that direction, rotated this leg out, and it just helps to balance the whole thing, even though there's just a single connector on there right now. So I think this will be sustainable. I just wish that I could have posed it a little bit better, but at least it looks interesting. You know, it looks like it's in motion, which is what I want, and it doesn't quite look like any of the other things that I've posed, most of which I've not shown on this channel yet because I just haven't gotten to them. And you know, even if they've been built, and or I've not finished the detailing. So I've just recently gotten enough confidence to do more detailing, you know, another level of detailing. So I'll be going through and finishing up more of my models and sharing them here in due time. And we'll continue to be a little bit slow about that. Just bring this in a little bit more. Yeah, a little bit more. Yeah, keeping it a little bit more sleek right there. There we go. And I'll keep you posted. Thank you very much for watching. Again, most of this occurs build-wise over on the Twitch side of things, so follow me. It's theJANG on Twitch. I mostly do Gundam building on Mondays and or Sundays, but I don't have a single set schedule as of the time of the recording of this video. But thanks for watching. Talk to you again soon.